Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. It was Kilkenny 226, Clare 20 points at Croke Park. Kilkenny deliver on the big occasion in Croke Park. They dumped Clare out of the championship. Clare sent packing after a 12-point defeat. A humiliation in many ways from Clare in this game, and a massive disappointing performance from them. It is the match reaction, a bit delayed. Obviously, this game was yesterday, as we very well know. The Limerick Galway game has already happened as well, which I did a reaction out already, but it was a bit busy yesterday. Hence why there was no reaction out yesterday for the game. So I just rewatched the game there now in full. I'd seen the highlights and all the rest, and I've been keeping up with the game yesterday, but I just watched the game full back literally as of now. And Jesus, yeah, like Kilkenny really did come to town, didn't they? I mean, they really did come to the party. I mean, what a performance. I mean, 117 in the first half, just 6 points from Clare. Mikey Butler obviously keeping Tony Kelly scoreless from play. Like, just an outrageous performance, really, from the Cats. The best performance I've seen from them personally since they beat Limerick in that 2019 All-Ireland semi-final. Like, this, I didn't see this coming, to be honest. And I know there's this thing sometimes with Kilkenny. You know, people look at Kilkenny maybe in the same breath at times with the Dubs and the Kerry footballers, where because there's such a history there of winning All-Irelands, winning big trophies, winning big games, we sort of apply that to this team or apply that to the team we're watching now. And sometimes I find that's a bit of unfair because, you know, the Kerry team in football right now isn't that team as of right now of, you know, the Kerry team of the mid-2000s, for example, that were winning All-Irelands. And this Kilkenny side, whilst there is a few All-Ireland winners in there like TJ Reid and whatnot, it isn't the same side that, you know, dominated the All-Ireland hurling scene year in, year out. You know, and this Kilkenny side, it's threatened. You know, it's had good performances, had good moments. You know, a couple of wins against Galways and Leinster finals and a couple of big performances here and there. You know, they lost by skin of their teeth, really, against Cork last year. You know, that game was very close. Obviously, goes to extra time. Kilkenny nearly got to an All-Ireland final that year. So, like, they've been threatening and they've been close, but the consistency just always hasn't been there. And he did question as well, like, was the production line, like the underage talent, maybe drying up a little bit? A couple of teams just a couple of yards ahead of them, the likes of your Limericks, Cork, Waterford, as it appeared last year. But look, Kilkenny came to show. They came to the party. I mean, you know, Adrian Mullen, what a performance in around the middle, 5 points. He's now the top scorer in the entirety of the championship, which really shows how good he was. TJ Reid with 10 points in there, 7 of which from place balls, 3 of which from frees. Owen Cody doing the legwork as well. And like the good thing about Kilkenny is they mixed it up. And, you know, the problem I've had with Kilkenny as well is they float too many long, sort of aimless balls in there. And when it doesn't work, it can go wrong very quickly. You surrender possession, and, you know, trying to pick out the likes of Billy Ryan, Cian Kenny, TJ Reid, obviously, as well, Owen Cody with that sort of diagonal ball. But everything just stuck for Kilkenny. Like, everything they done just worked. You know, when they were hitting long balls into TJ Reid, he was catching them. They were winning fouls. They were just a yard ahead of Clare, and Clare just weren't really, like, they didn't really land a punch. Like, you know, it was kind of funny watching the game back, obviously knowing the outcome of the game, because when you watch the first 5 minutes, I was like, Clare are actually doing all right here. Like, David Fitzgerald got himself a point. Shane O'Donnell, you know, got on the score sheet. Clare were 2 points to 1 up. And then all of a sudden it was, you know, it was like Kilkenny were sort of just jabbing at Clare here and there. And then all of a sudden they just delivered a knockout blow, and Clare just couldn't recover at all. Like, they hit, 7 points without reply until Clare's next score on the 14th minute. Adrian Mullen going to town. Connor Brown was obviously very good as well in around the middle for Kilkenny. And they were just quicker to everything. They were winning the breaking balls. And for Clare, like, you know, like, there was just no change. I think tactically very disappointed, in my opinion, because, like, they kept going for that ball into, you know, Ian Galvin, not even Tony Kelly, Shane O'Donnell. It wasn't working at all. It wasn't sticking. You know, like, Mikey Butler was doing excellent. Hugh Lawler, Tommy Walsh, they were catching those balls ahead of their men. You know, they were winning. Mikey Butler was doing outstanding. They needed to mix it up, Clare, a little bit. They were just going too direct. And it seemed like their only sort of ways to win this game was pot shots from distance and floating diagonal balls into the full forward line. It just wasn't working at all. There was no mix there. You know, and clearly when you're watching on the sideline, you're watching the game, you're thinking, Clare are going to have to change something here because this game will get away from them. And it did. Kilkenny were just going to town, and some big moments. Obviously, that goal from right at the end of the first half from Mossy Keown. It follows on from Clare, who had a goal chance right down the other end. And that obviously gets saved, and Kilkenny go down the other end in a couple of minutes and get a goal. And that was it. 14 points at half time. Clare aren't going to turn it around from there. Like it's as good as over. And with Kilkenny's experience and obviously the knowledge of their management, they're going to see this game out. And Clare came out in the second half, showed a little bit more fight. 6 points in the first half, nowhere near good enough, let's be honest. But 13 points in the second half, a little bit better. But it was game over. It was game over. There was no way. It was going to take something miraculous, a bit like what we seen from Limerick against Tipperary last year. We just weren't going to see that. And Tony Kelly, very disappointed with his performance, I think, and I'm sure Clare fans are as well. Just 4 points in total, none of which from play. Very anonymous. I was kind of thinking, geez, was he even playing at times? I didn't really know. I thought David Fitzgerald done well for Clare. I think he's probably been their best player this year. 3 points. Jeremy Ryan, to be fair, had a good game. Scoring wise, Shane O'Donnell with 4, Peter Duggan with a point. But even, Duggan goes off in the final sort of 20 minutes. Mark Rogers comes on, but they didn't get the same sort of energy from their bench as well. Nothing from Aaron Shanahan, nothing from Shane Meehan as well. Ian Galvin obviously goes off in the first half. Just didn't really work out for Clare at all. Their forwards were too static. Probably no movement really up top. And, Kilkenny delivered. They really, really did. Just taking those opportunities, clinical in front of goal. I think one or two wides in the first half or something like that. An exceptional performance. One of the best first half displays I've seen this year in hurling. Make no mistake about that. And for Clare, just very, very disappointed. They would have bigged their fans up quite a lot after, how they done in the Munster Championship and getting to the Munster final. But, the reality is Clare have had Clare have had about 2-3 weeks of good hurling, and they thought they were going to win the All-Ireland. They had about 2-3 good weeks of hurling in the last 5 years, and their fans thought they were going to win the All-Ireland. And, sometimes you can get momentum, sometimes you can go on a great run. But it wasn't meant to be in the end. And it was meant to be Kilkenny's day. But let me know your comments in the opinions down below, or let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. As I was saying, delayed match reaction wasn't around yesterday. Watch the game back there. But big performance from Kilkenny. Them against Limerick in the All-Ireland final. That's going to be a sight to behold. Very, very excited for it. So, let me know your thoughts in